All right, folks. Last match of the day. We got to mull this. Not quite good enough. God, if this hand had 2 lands, this hand would be insane. Got to mull. This one we shall accept. Gonna keep the land on top. That third land, though it is a Shivan Reef, appears to be useful. All right, what are we up against? Are we up against another little rally deck? Are we up against Abzan? Flooded Strand, maybe more indicative of 4-color rally. That could be Abzan, though. I guess I would still prefer rally to Abzan. I'm sticking with Abzan being our worst matchup. Ooh, all right. Worst matchup to end the day. All right, we're going to play Hanger back here because feels better right now. I don't know. Just feels correct. We'll see what my opponent does. Maybe he just pumps Warden, in which case roast will be big. All right. Can handle that. So, wasn't expecting that. What kind of deck is this? That's interesting. Well, now I'm not going to play Roast because no need. All right, let's just play Aggregate because it lets us block the Warden. And we can play Hanger back bigger later, and that's no big deal either. I like to make better use of my manas. What do we got? Flesh Bag? All right. This deck is very strange. So, looks like it's a rally deck with Warden of the First Tree. That could be the case. All right, now we're just going to roast and Hanger back. So DC's Faithful and Flashback Marauder. That's strange. Opponent did miss a land drop. All right, it's got to be 4-color rally with Warden of the First Tree. That's just interesting. Opponent is still missing their 4th land even after that draw, which is good news for us. All right, I guess we go Cliffs, Chief, and we're going to actually think beat down. Opponent gets to bring him back, I guess, but all right. They have to hit the 4th land. They did miss the 4th land because they didn't play it there. All right, get another turn of chump blocking. Found the 4th land. Now we just need evasiveness and we're good. Oof. All right. It's getting less sexy. All right. Yeah, the problem with swinging is him getting the Visionary back is not good for us. I guess we have to go in chill out mode. I don't love it. But considering I know what he's doing, I guess I would rather just pump the Hanger back. See, the problem is if he just rallies back Elvish Visionary, it's not good for us. So we just need to find a flyer and we're fine. There's the Harrispex, okay. And a Faithful, sure. So sack the Visionary, gets a card draw, so it looks like he gets even more value, unfortunately. But it really was dependent on him having a certain combination of cards. For example, if he had the Rally, it was worse to attack. If he had the Grim Harrispex, Sidisi's Faithful, it was better to attack. So I just sort of incorrectly presumed what my opponent had, is the only way I can put it. And we are just like a flyer away from profit. All right. Opponent is living in Value Town. Population, my opponent. All right. Now they're just like a sack outlet away from really getting some sick card generation going. All right. Once again, we're just a flyer away. We rip a P and Kira Nalar here. We're in pretty ridiculous shape because we get to kill Harrispex and get a huge profitable dude. Vile Aggregate is not so good for us, unfortunately. It does have Trample, I suppose, but it's not what I'm looking for. Did I forget to pump my hanger back? No, I just played it. Silly me. Oh, might as well equip, I guess. Why not? So Rally for 3 would let him get some pretty big value going. But he's scrying. Did he scry to the top? Put a card on the bottom. Okay. So I think he's probably going to rally for 3. But I guess if he rallies to sack the hanger back, which is pretty insane for us. So it might just rally for 2, which also makes sense. Okay, so he's going to bounce hanger back again, I suppose. Guess he can bounce a couple things. He also gets to draw 2 cards. And he gets his Warden back, but just temporarily. He also gets to scry 2. Let's see if he found what he was looking for. Currently unsure. So he's going to bounce Vile Aggregate and hanger back. Put a card on the bottom. Drew. Bouncing Aggregate 2, I suppose. Chief the Foundry. That's an interesting choice. I wonder why he did like that. Oh, because he wants to play a flesh bag and make me lose my aggregate, probably. Probably. That is my guess. That would make sense. Okay. Or an executioner. Same thing. Same difference. Is same difference actually mean something? I've always heard that, and it just sounds like same difference. Wait a second. Is it same or is it different? It's the same difference. Okay. Lost out a lot of value there, but we've let our combo opponent basically go completely disrupted this entire game. But we did have to mulligan in my defense, and we were confused by the Warden of the First Tree. So losing in pretty bad fashion here. I finally did find our flyer, but a bit too late, I'm afraid. Well, at least they didn't have a sack outlet, but they only lost one thing. Is that right? Jeez. That didn't work out so well for us. Yeah. So my opponent just managed to beat us, I think, because we just didn't see the disruption we needed, or a flyer. I think if we'd had disruption or a flyer, we probably could have gotten this. We did have one roast, I guess, but I think it was mulligan, combination of mulligan and, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think that we can win. We can't really take a damage, because then we definitely lose. Oh, found a card he was looking for. That's not a good sign. I mean, I guess I can just concede. I definitely don't want to show my opponent any more of my cards. And a lot of the cards I've shown him I'm siding out, like Aggregate and Roast. But he definitely already sees what's going on. Pia and Kieran. Well, what can I do? I can play... I've got to be dead. Play Pia and Kieran. Blow up a Cutthroat. I guess I will. I don't love it, but my opponent already... The jig is up, basically, on what I'm doing. So, I feel like... My opponent's just a rally from winning. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Oh, I guess I... Oh, yeah, all right. Well... Oh, wait. I was going to use the Thopters to make my guy unblockable, but I actually don't think that's a great idea. Wait, what? Oh, I screwed up. I wanted to use my ability to make... I forgot what ability I was using. I thought I was using the make unblockable ability for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But we are just dead to... we are definitely just dead to rally now. So... I didn't want to sack my Ghost Fireblade. I wanted to sack a Thopter, but it's not actually important, I don't think, because we're just so dead. There's just so many things. It's like it with 8 cards in hand. It's like it's just like impossible. I can't imagine a scenario that I lose, or that I win rather. All right. I guess we'll make them go through the motions. That's fine. I don't see a reason to concede, though, if he's behind on clock and he's playing combo. He should just... Yeah. I was going to say, if he really wanted to cast a spell, and I wouldn't have made you guys sit through it. I definitely would have stopped the recording or whatever, but I would have made him do it if he wants to waste time. I'm okay with wasting time in a combo matchup like this. I don't know why my opponent's doing all these weird triggers. It just seems completely irrelevant. You could just systematically sack everything and kill me. Alright, opponent looks like they've decided to do that. So we lose. Let's go to sideboard. We know we can beat this deck because we've just done it. So let's bring in the impulses again. Let's take out the aggregates again. Let's take out a couple hangerbacks again. And we're going to bring in negates. Dispel, and a couple disdainful strokes for the collected companies and rallies. This gives us a lot of spot removal. Same plan as before. Let's see if we can do it again. All right. Would like to play first. Yeah, we can keep this hand. We don't have any disruption, but we sideboarded in a lot of disruption, and double Whirler Rogue is typically pretty good. Plus we have the hangerback, which is also good. That was weird. I have 6 twice, and neither of them worked. Ooh, impulse. There it is. So we're going to be able to kill that Jace he's going to play next turn. Oh, Visionary. Well, that's much less good. For him. Amazing for us. Because now we get to save it. Alright. Full-on chill-out mode. Grim Harrispecs will die. I assure you of that. Sifter, we're going to allow. Ooh, it's not bad. Let's go Rogue. So we're not going to leave up a counter, because I'd rather get in some damage. Thinking I might just want to play another Whirler Rogue next turn since my opponent... but I guess my opponent can cast Collected Company right now. Let's see if he does it on his turn. It's a smart move. If he does, though, we can leave up the negate. Alright, looks like my opponent is, in fact, doing it. Ah, leaving up the Dispel, too. Okay, that's interesting. So... telegraphing they have Dispel. If we see Harrispecs, we can still impulse and negate his Dispel. Cutthroat's going to be totally acceptable. Faithful's fine too. He can bounce the Thopter, I guess. Sacking the Visionary, I imagine. Or the Faithful, okay. Making us lose a hangerback? Sure. Oh, okay. Now making us lose a Thopter. The Whirler Rogue. That's interesting. I feel like we're probably just going to replay Whirler Rogue. We can leave up Fiery Impulse. Alright, I think we're just going to impulse the Cutthroat now. Although, no, I guess we save it. Like I said, it's not the cards that we need to be concerned about. Cutthroat's not the one. We've got to worry about. There's more important things. Harrispex, that's the one we got to worry about. All right, perfect. So let's make sure that we can kill Harrispex now. All right. So, guess we just want to do this. So we can do engineer and leave up negate, which is not bad, I guess. All right. I think we're just gonna get, well, let's get in for 5 here. I think we gotta start pushing some damage through. I guess we're telegraphing a counter, but whatever. I mean, it's unavoidable. Get rid of the first one. Can't deal with the second one, though. I'll take one. No counter here. No counter protection's a bit scary. Alright, well. If I leave one guy back, am I okay? Let's say he bounces a couple things, has a Harrispex, a Sifter. I mean, he can't attack with him, so I guess. Well, I can't do anything about a second one, but Collected Company I can beat. Sifter and not a Husk, we're hoping. Alright, Faithful's fine, actually. So he can make us lose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 life. That's not enough. He will get the Sifter token, but he can only make us lose 7 life. And we definitely have lethal on Crackback. He's bouncing a token. That's interesting. Does that buy him the time he needs? Not exactly sure yet. He's going to 8 life, which means, no, we're still fine. I think we still win. My opponent has his 4th Faithful. I guess we don't, but definitely taking it. Can sack the Scion, but that's not enough. No play, sure. All right. It's good news. Let's go Blade, Ornithopter. Opponent can sack a Scion, but nothing else. Might as well maximize damage, I guess. Oh, it has Murderous Cut up. I see. Yeah, I guess Murderous Cut's going to get us. Can't do anything about Murderous Cut either. Yeah, I think we're just getting Murderous Cut here, which makes me sad, but like I said, is just one of those things that's unavoidable. We're not? Wow. That was a close one. All right, game 3. Murderous Cut would have gotten us there pretty bad. I kind of want to bring in the last Disdainful Stroke. Is that wrong? Perhaps, but I still want to do it. The only thing that matters is, well, I mean, he almost beat us with Zulaport Cutthroats there, to be perfectly honest, but I don't know. Maybe we don't need the stroke, but God, those combo pieces are so good against us. Collected Company and Rally are just so important against us. If we can just weather the storm of those cards, we can totally win. Hangerback just seems so irrelevant in this matchup, doesn't it? Especially with the bounce effects. It's just not good enough. I mean, granted, we're lowering our creature count pretty significantly, but I think we got to live with that. Disdainful Strokes for his 2 major combo pieces just seem good to me. What do we got? Yeah, we're going to keep this. I mean, this hand requires some things, but it also deals with some things. It doesn't have any of our counter spells, but we have removal for Jace and Grim Haruspex, and I guess early Cutthroats. If we rip lands, we're okay. If we rip certain spells, we're okay too. All right. Land I'll take. So, Jace we can deal with. We haven't seen Jace yet, which means maybe our opponent doesn't have it. Could also be that. I mean, that's good news for us, because Jace, I think, is much better against us than other scary things. So you're going to play the Sifter here. On Offenza. Wasn't expecting that. Well, that might legitimately be able to erase us here. Maybe I do have to kill. I guess I have to kill on Offenza. I'm like kind of surprised with what our opponent's been doing, to be honest. I mean, otherwise his stuff grows. That was pretty surprising, though. All right, Chief of the Foundry is pretty good here, actually. Now we're just a 4th land away from some beautiful plays here. We go Whirler Rogue first so we can start bashing in. Visionary number 2. Which is irrelevant, as you might imagine. Opponent pretty clearly sideboarded out of the sack effects, which is good news for us. I don't even have to kill Cutthroat. Land, please. Oh my God. It is Christmas. It is Christmas, my friends. I'm going to start beating in because why not? Husk, pretty irrelevant. Does let him sack for some Zooport Cutthroat value, but we're going to accept that. Alright, didn't get the counter spell, but that's okay. Let's go Whirler Rogue number 2. Actually, I guess we can go P and Kieran now, huh? And I guess we'll make Whirler Rogue unblockable. Could have actually, might have been smarter to make the Chief of the Foundry unblockable. Then again, it might not even be important or relevant, but the reason to make the Chief of the Foundry unblockable is so that I could chump with the Whirler Rogue against the Nantuko Husk, which can actually deal a lot of damage here. But opponent's got a lot of damage they got to deal with at the moment. And Rally is not good. Collected Company's pretty good, I guess, if it can find him some more Cutthroats. Thinking if my opponent plays Collected Company, I just nuke the Cutthroat in response. Grim Haruspex. Alright, let's Impulse now. And the reason we're impulsing Cutthroat is so that my opponent... Yeah. So now my opponent can sack Visionaries to draw some cards, but is not going to net the life. I've got the P and Kieran to kill Haruspex on my turn. Alright. Opponent's in full-fledged card draw mode. Can't remember if my opponent played a land already. I feel like they did, because they have 6 lands, and I feel like we've played a land every turn. We can... Did no attack with the Husk is interesting. No Collected Company mana is interesting as well. So we've got 6 lands. Yeah, let's just... Yeah, I guess we bash in. Wow. Beat 4-color Rally, went 5-0 for the 3rd time in a row. This deck has been unbelievable. This deck is like probably the most revolutionary thing I've ever just like stumbled upon in my entire life. Yeah. In terms of Magic, I shouldn't say in my entire life, like like Magic's everything. I guess when you're putting up videos every day, sometimes you confuse the two. But yeah, in terms of Magic, this is definitely the most revolutionary deck I think I've ever come across. Where I mean, that means we've won the last 15 matches straight up, just 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, destroying leagues with this deck. I need to like find a major tournament and have my friends help me build this. This is just too remarkable. I mean, it's almost sad that Oath is coming in because I don't know how much it's going to affect the meta. But anyway, I'll stay tuned for the next video. I'll have a couple things prepped, and we'll talk. I'll see you in a second.